best way to improve your score on a PT test. I don't care what it is. It's you got the 3 mile run, you got the 2 mile run, you got the 1.5 mile run, you got whatever it is. You got push-ups, 2 minutes of push-ups, 1 minute of push-ups. You got 1 set of pull-ups. You have a time limit on the pull-ups. Whatever the fuck it is, it doesn't really matter. Oh shit! I said fuck word. Damn it! I said fuck again in the first minute. So much for YouTube promoting my video. Anyways, as if we care on this channel. Because fuck them. So anyways, the point being here, how do you improve your score on a PT test? And you'll see all these different claims out there. People are like, well, the best way to improve your 2 mile time is to do zone 2 cardio for 20 minutes. That doesn't make any sense at all. Doing zone 2 cardio for 20 minutes has nothing to do with running 2 miles as fast as you possibly can. In fact, all this crap about zone 2 is pretty useless in terms of you improving your scores on a lot of these different tests. So, why would you be doing something that this is the best way to improve your health and longevity? What does that have to do with running a 1.5 mile in boots and utes? Anyways, PT tests in general are really garbage. This is like the NFL Combine. Like, what does being able to bench 225 tell you about my ability to play football? I can't remember who it was. There's some basketball player. Apparently, at the NBA Combine, they do a 185 bench press. Yes. I can't even remember who it was, but he was able to do like 1 rep. He's like one of the top players. I'm trying to remember who else there is. There's someone else. I can't remember their name. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. He got like 2 or 3 reps with like 185. And again, this is like one of the greatest basketball players out there. So, like, I'm drawing blanks on names, just like football. I think Blaine Sumner, I know that name because it's powerlifting. Don't ask me for football players unless they played for the Steelers. Blaine Sumner had like the record for the 225 bench press. Like, he bench pressed it some absurd number of times, and well, you can see where he went in the NFL. So, like, how much does this bench press test tell you about someone's ability to play football? We've all seen Tom Brady's combine scores. You've seen Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice's 40 time. What the hell? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, only he can play football. Larry Fitzgerald, he can play football. He's not a track athlete. What do you want? Usain Bolt probably runs a 40 really quick. Do you see him playing in the NFL? No, you don't. Okay. Similarly, what does a PT test tell me about your ability to be combat effective? Oh, this person can do 100 push-ups in 2 minutes. That's cool. I was able to do that whenever I was like 5. What does that have to do with being ready for combat? By the way, now we're going to throw a plate carrier on you with a whole bunch of ammo, and you got your med kit and your drop pouch and all this other shit for you to carry. You got this strapped to your shoulder, you got this radio over here, you got this on your leg, you got this on your belt. Next thing you know, you got 60 pounds worth of gear on. What does that have to do with your ability to do push-ups or sit-ups, even for you to run 1.5 miles? You're a walking tank. So when I knew him, he was a senior chief. Amazing person. We'll just call him by Marcos because that's his first name. There's enough Marcos out there that you won't know him. He's now, I think he made it Master Chief before he retired. In any case, I remember this one time, I was just talking about training and stuff like that. And he's like, how much are you weighing these days? And I was like, 155. And he's like, motherfucker. He's like, my kit weighs more than you. He's not bullshitting. Okay? So now you're going to carry a load that weighs over 155 pounds, and somehow your 1.5 mile run, your 3 mile run, is going to be indicative of your ability to move with that much weight on you? So, all right, we've wasted enough time talking about this. The point being that these PT tests aren't really a very good measure anyways, but you still got to pass them. So how do you pass them? And I'm going to tell you straight up, like, the answer is really simple. You practice it. You just do the test over and over and over again. I know, not what you were hoping for. You thought I was going to tell you some secret, like, oh, the secret is this, and you do some other thing that's way easier, and, you end up with magical results. No. So we had to take a PST, okay, and I don't know how things are run today. So if I'm incorrect in any information, I'm sorry that it's outdated. In my day, Okay, you signed up and you DEPT. You did the delayed entrance program, and you had to go meet with a SEAL mentor or a SEAL motivator, and you would take this PST. And where I lived, in the Pittsburgh area, we had this individual, Eric Keating. I don't know if he's still doing it anymore. And I would go every Monday and take the test again. Why? Why would I do that? Because it was me practicing the test, actually. That wasn't my workout for the day. I went home and I did more push-ups, more pull-ups, more running, etc. But the thing is, I kept doing the test over and over again until it got to the point where I basically couldn't fail this fucking thing. Like, I did it with the flu. I had the flu. I had a fever of like 102.5, and I'm taking like fucking Dayquil. Felt like shit, and I still passed the test. It's that simple. You have to just do the test over and over and over again to the point where you can still pass it even on a bad day. Like, even with the flu, even with a fever, and I'm got snot running out my nose, and I'm coughing and hacking, I have a sore throat. Shouldn't have been there. Probably made other people sick. Hope it made other people sick. Pass it around. Dude, I still did my swim in like 8:12. I think I got 89 push-ups, like 92 sit-ups, 17 pull-ups. This is on a bad day, and I still ran my 1.5 miles in under 9 minutes. I can't remember what it was, like 8:50 something. Okay. That's my worst one. I was sick for it. I had the flu, and I still passed it. Now, how is that possible, Chad? You're just that much better than everyone else. No, not at all. No, I practiced the test. I learned how to pace myself. I didn't go out on the swim as hard as I possibly could. I held back. I sandbagged the swim. Why would you sandbag the swim? So you have energy for the rest of the work you have to do. The 2-minute push-up test. There are 2 ways you can do this. You can go all out at the beginning and burn out, and then you're doing 1 rep at a time, or you can pace yourself so that you keep a steady pace for the entire 2 minutes. My advice to you, steady pace for 2 minutes. You're going to get more total reps. Same thing with the sit-up. You can go crazy. Oh, I'm going to slam out as many up as I can in the first 30 seconds. Then you burn out, and you're doing 1 at a time. Or you pace yourself. And if you pace yourself, you're working continuously for the full 2 minutes. You end up getting more reps. The pull-ups, again, you could go crazy at the beginning. You get, the first 10 reps super easy, and then you're doing singles, or you kind of pace yourself. If you keep them nice and steady, you don't burn out as fast, you get more total reps in. And same thing on the run. Like, don't come out the gate and sprint the first, half mile of it, and then you're shuffling for the rest of it. Pace yourself. And then when you see the finish line and you know you're close, go ahead and just open up just open the gas, crank the throttle. Just leave nothing in the tank. So when you can see where the finish line is, yeah, that's the time to do it. Just go ahead and open it up. You don't have anything after that anyways. It's the last thing you're doing. You're finishing with the run, you see the finish line, give it everything you have. That's the moment you go ahead and open the floodgate. Now, as I pointed out, okay, this is just one test. You practice the test over and over and over again, and eventually you get better at it because you learn to pace yourself better. Even if you didn't improve your fitness, you still learned to game the test a bit. The same thing when I was doing OCS with the Marine Corps. That was actually the first thing I did. I joined the Marine Corps first, and then I joined the Navy later. When I joined the Marine Corps and did the OCS thing, you had the pull-ups, 21. Not 20. I know, it says 20. You're going to do 21 because there's 1 for chesty. Some of you get that. A lot of you watching this have no idea what the fuck I just said, 1 for chesty. And some of you are like, hell yes, and you just hit the like button. I want to say thank you. Simplify. The devil dogs out there understand what I just said, 1 for chesty. Anyway, so then you have your sit-ups, and no one fails the sit-ups because they're actually just crunches. And if you have a good partner, that's the catch to that one. So someone's going to hold your feet down. And if the person doing that does a shitty job, then you're not going to get all the reps. But if you have a person who does a good job on it, for me it was Neil Schubert. Hey Neil, if you're watching this, comment below. I haven't talked to you in years, and I would love to know what you're doing these days. I know you went on to join the Army. So the person holding your feet down makes a difference. And so we made a pact, and we're like, I'm going to hold your feet with all the force I have, as hard as I can, so they don't move at all. Yeah, you make that deal with the other guy, and he makes that deal with you, and you do right by that person, and they will do right by you, and both of you will pass the crunches easily. And then you have the 3-mile run, which, again, there's a game to this. You have to learn to pace yourself. If you come out and run the first mile in 5 minutes, you're not going to run the second and third mile in 5 minutes. You're going to run and you're going to slow down. So what you do is you hold back and you pace yourself, so you're actually running like a 6. Even though you're capable of running a low 5, you're going to run a 6. And that way your second one is also a 6. And then on the third one, you're going to maintain that pace. And then, like I said, when you see the finish line, you're going to open it up. And so what's going to happen is you're running your first 2 in 6 minutes, and you run your third one in slightly under 6 minutes, and now you have a sub-18 3-mile. Congratulations, you just scored 300 on the PFT. Like, this isn't rocket science. Like, there's a part to all of these things where you game the test. And so the best way for you to improve your score on any of these things, I don't care if you're doing the Army one or you're doing the Navy one, I just gave you 2 examples, okay? The point being, any of these PT tests, the best way for you to improve your score is to practice the fucking test. That's the truth. I know it's dumb. I know you're sitting here being like, that's dumb, I don't want to do that, and I promise you it works. When you practice the test, you learn how to pace yourself. Pacing yourself is half the game. It's just like I talked about with CrossFit, okay? You got Fran, 21, 15, 9, thrusters and pull-ups, right? You can come out the gate as hard as you possibly can. Oh, just fucking kill yourself in that first round. Yeah, and then, by the time you get to the round of doing sets of 9, you're like chipping away 1 rep at a time because you smoked yourself. Or let's take, the 400-meter run, 50 air squats. If you run that first 400 meters as hard as you possibly can, you're going to hit the wall, and the rest of the workout is going to be slower. Now, I think that's a great way for you to train. Like, if you want my opinion on training, I think it's good for you to train where you fucking hit the wall and then try to keep going. Yeah. But if you want the best score, right, this is the difference. Now CrossFit is a sport. It's a game. It's a competition. You're not just working out anymore. So instead of you coming out the gate with everything you have and, hitting the wall, you pace yourself. So you pace yourself on that first run, and you pace yourself through the squats so that you don't burn yourself out. And you pace yourself through the whole thing. If you find the sweet spot, you find this pace that you can just barely hold for the entire duration. And that's the pace where you're going to get the best possible score. Because if you go harder than that, you hit the wall and you suddenly slow down. And if you go slower than that, then you still have too much gas left at the end of the workout. So you find that spot, that sweet spot, where you're going just hard enough that by the end you have exhausted your gas tank. And a big part of that is just doing it over and over and over again to get good at pacing yourself. Which is why, like I said, practice the fucking test.